You only have use of this sheet if you have a hydronic or water-based heating system. The sheet is used for a different couple of reasons. One is to get the heating curve for the control unit, and another one is to get a tip of which control valve to install on the primary side if your house is heated by district heating. Also, you will be told which circulator pump to install. And as you can see here now, it says total liters of hours to be pumped around in the heating system, including all radiators, 1,329 liters. This number you can also find on the sheet info here. So what we have done so far is that we have entered the radiators that are in all apartments, but we haven't entered information about any radiators outside apartments. And by outside I mean in other areas that doesn't need to be heated to normal room temperature. So that's what we're gonna do now. In my example house, there are some radiators at the bottom of the stairwell, and there is a laundry room and etc. And now we're gonna give them some liters per hour depending on what these areas are used for. So for example, I put in 12 liters per hour to the bottom of the stairwells, and that equals 3.5 quarter turns because of the valve type I've chosen on the sheet apartment adjustment. So there are 3 stairwells and 3 radiators, so I put in 3 here. And the laundry room I want it to be a little bit warmer, so I put in 28 liters per hour there. And it's 1 radiator in the laundry room. And then you can continue like this. For example, drying room for drying clothes, and I give that 28 liters as well, and it's 1 radiator there. So if we scroll down here now, we can see that now this number has changed into 1,421. It's still 1,329 on the sheet info though. So the only reason to actually enter these radiators and not just go out there and set them at some low or high setting depending on what the area is used for, that is to actually get a more exact number in this cell. Don't forget to read this text. It's very important because you might want to have some margin and not select a pump that exactly can deliver this many liters per hour. Here you can read about the control valve on the primary side when heated by district heating. And if we take a look at the heating curve here that we see that you set in the control unit, this curve is taken from the data that you see here. If you want this data with 1 degree outer temperature instead between each calculated supply temperature, then you can look in this table instead, which actually finishes here between -30 and -40 degrees. The reason I put it here is because then it will fit in one sheet if you do a printout. So if you discover that this heating curve has to be adjusted up or down or a little bit at a different angle to suit the house that you have, then you can use these cells here to change these settings for the curve, and then you will get new calculated supply temperatures in these cells that you can set in the control unit. Once you're happy with the setting of the curve, Then if you want, you could enter here the supply temperature that was finally set in the control unit. For example, 11 degrees, 21 degrees and 31 degrees. 31 degrees for when it's an outdoor temperature of 10 degrees. So when we scroll down here now, we can see this little red line that represents the numbers that we entered. So you can compare it to the calculated supply temperature with the blue line. That was all I wanted to show you from this sheet.